D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my week in review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I am going to read to you to do this video, and you can check them out for yourself, or you can just watch this video where I'm going to read it to you. Before I get started, though, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, so now that I got that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started on these 3 stories. And so for my first story this week, now I had done this, the story of the Michael Jackson biopic. I had done it a couple weeks ago where they had picked Antoine Fuqua to direct. Well, it looks like they found their Michael Jackson, and they found it in-house and in the family and everything, which is very interesting, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But this article comes from Deadline, my favorite. And it says Michael Jackson's nephew, Jaafar Jackson, to play King of Pop in Antoine Fuqua's directed biopic. And that is him right there, Jaafar Jackson. So it says right here, it says, Michael Jackson will be played by the late icon's 26-year-old nephew, Jaafar Jackson, in the Antoine Fuqua directed film biopic for Lionsgate. Now, I have to just say, he looks very much like Michael Jackson before he had all those surgeries done and all that pigmentation stuff that he had done, which I think really was not. I mean, like, if you look at these pictures right here, he looks totally fine, and I don't understand why he did all that. But he had his own stuff going on. Yeah. All right. So it says Fuqua just posted a confirmation on Instagram. The singer and songwriter is the son of Jermaine Jackson, which I want to talk about that in just one second, who is the brother of Michael Jackson and member of the Jackson 5. Jaafar has been singing and dancing since age 12 and has showcased himself singing tunes from Sam Cooke to Marvin Gaye, along with originals. Now, before I get into the rest of this article, I just want to say that before Michael Jackson died, him and Jermaine were not on good terms. They were very, if you go into Google, just type in Jermaine and Michael Jackson feud, and you can find so much stuff on it. I'm not quite sure if they ever made up or not. I didn't look that up or whatnot, but there was a lot of, like, feud, and I get it, sibling rivalry, siblings and everything. I don't always get along with my siblings. I hope that they made up before his passing. That would be sad if they didn't, but I would be very interested to know if Michael Jackson was happy that his nephew was playing him in a biopic, especially if it was Jermaine and they weren't on good terms. But then again, he might not take it out on his nephew. But all right, so getting on with this, it says, as Deadline revealed last week, the Emancipation Helmer signed on to next direct Michael, which has a script by John Logan. The film's being produced by Graham King, who turned the Freddie Mercury Queen story into the blockbuster Bohemian Rhapsody. GEEK Films will produce alongside with the co-executives of Jackson's estate. All right, so it says... As you can see from the video below, the young man has the voice and moves to do right by his uncle. As an actor, he might well learn more than he wanted to about his world-famous uncle. And we've heard the film will not shy away from the controversies of Jackson's life. The pedo accusations that haunted, I don't know how many words I can say on YouTube, you guys. It's gotten really weird. Like, there are some words you just outright can't say, and I'm all like, wow, that's interesting. But so I might be redacting some of this. Accusations that haunted his latest years up to his death in 2009 at the age of 50 from cardiac arrest caused by a cocktail of sedatives. So I just want to say that there is that documentary, Finding Neverland or Escaping Neverland. And if you go and watch that documentary, listen, I'm not saying I have very strong opinions about Michael Jackson in this situation, and I don't want to get into it here because that's not what we're talking about. but I'm glad that they're not shying away from it, because these things need to be discussed. But I have thoughts about it. I just don't know if I can discuss them right now on YouTube. So let's just get on with this article. So it says the MJ Estates presence gives rights to Jackson's musical catalog, but has led some of the question how protective will they be? But clearly things will have to be explored for the film to have dramatic edge and enough truthfulness to stand up to the scrutiny while not turning off fans of Jackson's songs and musical legacy. I think that will be a very interesting balance, between the people that are very much opposed to him because of those accusations, and then the people that just love his music. I like Michael Jackson's music. I always have. I've always thought he was a talent, but those accusations really did hurt him in my eyes personally, because even though some of the stuff, I will say that very first initial one, I believe it 100%, 100%. That very first kid that came out, 100%. The rest of the stuff, I have a little bit of I'm weighing the stuff because, again, Michael Jackson is not alive to defend himself. Although it's so weird. You don't sleep in beds with little kids. I'm sorry. That's so weird. I don't know. It's just crazy. Anyways, okay. King and Oscar-nominated Gladiator screenwriter Logan previously threaded the needle perfectly with director Martin Scorsese on The Aviator, with Leonardo DiCaprio playing Howard Hughes, as he tried to pursue his innovations before mental illness turned him into a germophobic recluse. King and screenwriter Anthony McCartan captured the complexities of Freddie Mercury's life before he died from AIDS. Michael will also be driven by Jackson's musical accomplishments, which gives the film global potential similar to Bohemian Rhapsody, which grossed over $900 million worldwide, boosted the song catalog of Queen, got a Best Picture Oscar nomination, and a win for star Rami Malek, which I think that this has all the potential for all of that. I just don't know if they can do it or not, but I have faith in them. And I listen, I want nothing but the best for people, but I just don't know. I just don't know how much can they fit into this movie? This movie can't be 5 hours long. It could I mean, two and a half tops, because I'm just come on guys. But so they're going to have to really really break down this story, and I just don't know if they can do all of it and touch on everything and really give it what it needs to really flush out the story, but we'll see. So Jackson's issues go back to the bullying influence of his father Joe, who brought the youth and his brothers from Gary, Indiana to stardom, but apparently as high cost to Jackson, who didn't really have a childhood. As an adult, he became an even bigger star. But what was initially viewed as a Peter Pan-like life took on a more sinister overtones when lawsuits began cropping up and the multimillionaire settlements paid. Hold on, let me go back up to this picture so that way. Okay, so hold on just a little bit more. Sorry, guys. Los Angeles, California, September. And Jaafar Jackson, that's his sister. Latoya. I like Latoya. She's super fun. Jaafar Jackson arrived for the Face Forward International 10th Annual Gala. Okay, so Fuqua is currently finishing The Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington in Italy. I'm kind of excited for that. And then he will turn his attention to this one. Production will begin later this year, and we've heard that Fuqua will draft his Emancipation and Equalizer 3 cinematographer Robert Richardson to be by his side. Lionsgate has world rights here, but will seek an offshore partner, and we've heard Sony is squarely in the mix. The studio turned into a hit 2009. Okay. The 2009 This Is It, comprised of footage of Jackson's rehearsing from a series of London concerts when he died. That documentary is actually pretty good if you go back and watch it. It's really sad. Listen, I am sad that Michael Jackson died. I don't know, man. It's a crazy thing. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because I'm just I don't know how they're going to touch on that subject, the kid thing, man. It's crazy. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I mean, I'll probably watch this movie. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to see. I'll have to see. And I don't know if this kid Jaafar Jackson's going to do a good job. I mean, just because you can sing and dance doesn't mean you're a good actor. Like, that's the thing. So we'll see. We'll see if he can get the voice down. We'll see if he can do all that stuff. And let's just see if Antoine Fuqua can pull it out. Because sometimes, I don't know, Antoine Fuqua is such a hit or miss for me. I don't know, man. I don't know. And I haven't seen it, Emancipation, but we'll see. So that is my first story of the week, you guys. So for my second story of the week, and this is a little bit exciting, you guys. So this comes from the Hollywood Reporter. It says, Good Fight spinoff, Elsbeth, Matlock reboot with Kathy Bates, nab CBS pilot orders. So I'm mostly interested in the Matlock stuff, but we'll read about the Good Fight stuff anyways. Okay, so it says, additionally, CBS is opening writer's room for The Pact and Sherlock Holmes offshoot Watson, with an eye on both scripts going to series. Okay, who cares about that? I forgot about that. Okay, CBS adding 2 famed attorneys to its roster. Matlock, one of television's most iconic crime dramas. Real quick, I just want to tell you guys, I love Matlock. I don't care how, if you want to tell me I'm an old man, that's fine. But even when I was a kid, like I'm talking like little kid, like 10, I loved Matlock. I love all that crap. It's like Murder, She Wrote. Love that crap. I don't care what you want to say about me. I love it. I could watch that today and I would love it. I know I would. This is kind of exciting, but we'll see. Okay, so it says, Crime Dramas is getting a new life on CBS. The Paramount Global-backed broadcast network has handed out a pilot order for a new take on the former defense attorney formerly played by Andy Griffith. I love Andy Griffith. Kathy Bates will take on the role of Madeline Matlock. We'll see how that plays out. Maybe it's his daughter. I'm not quite sure, but I do like Kathy Bates, so we'll see. Additionally, The Good Wife / The Good Fight creators Robert and Michelle King are returning to CBS with a 3rd series in the franchise. Elsbeth will star Carrie Preston, set to reprise her role in the drama that has also received a pilot order at the broadcast network. These are the first 2 drama pilots ordered for CBS and are being eyed for a 2023-2024 broadcast season. Okay, so it says, additionally, CBS is looking forward to 2024-2025 broadcast season with dramas packed. All right, I'm gonna skip that because I just want to talk about the Matlock stuff, not the Elsbeth stuff, if that's cool with you guys. But if Elsbeth is something like, if the Good Wife and what was it, The Good Fight is your thing, great. Like I said, you can go read the article for yourself, but I'm not interested in that. I'm only interested in the Matlock stuff. So it says Matlock, a reboot of the former NBC and ABC procedural, hails from Jane the Virgin creator, Janie Snyder Ehrman. I hope I'm saying her name right, via her overall deal with CBS Studios. I have not seen Jane the Virgin, but my best friend and my wife both saw it, and they both said it was good. So I trust them, although the ladies, they have a tendency to love everything. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so here's the formal log line. After achieving success in her younger years, the brilliant, that's a big word, Madeline Matlock Bates rejoins the workforce at a prestigious law firm where she uses her unassuming demeanor and wily tactics to win cases and explore corruption from within. It's inspired by classic television series of the same name. Ehrman, Joanne Klein, and Eric Christian Olsen exec produce alongside Bates. The original Matlock, created by Dean Hargrove and starring Griffith, aired for 9 seasons from 1986 to 1995. Wow. First on NBC before moving to ABC for its final 3. The drama, which remains popular in syndication, is owned by Viacom Productions. Rights to the series recently reverted to Paramount Global following the remerger of CBS and Viacom. CBS, is worth noting, aired spinoff Jake and the Fat Man for 8 seasons. I don't know what that is. Diagnosis Murder was also a spinoff of Jake and the Fat Man. I don't know. I've never seen Jake and the Fat Man. That sounds like fun, though. So what is Matlock? Okay, so I don't know if they're gonna have Kathy Bates be like his daughter or related to him in any way, shape, or form. If not, I think that would be bad. That would be a misstep in my opinion, but I'm gonna watch it either way just to see at least the pilot if this goes forward, just to see what it's like. But Matlock was this like old guy and played by Andy Griffith. And he was a lawyer, but he was also kind of like a detective. Like he would go and he would question people and he'd like find clues and stuff. And then he would like go to court with all this stuff and he'd like be all like, it was the white woman and everything. And you're just like, it was just so good. I loved it. If you haven't seen it, I suggest going to, I don't know if there's anything on YouTube for it, but going and finding it and just checking it out for yourself. It's just me personally, I just think it's a really good series. And I remember I watched it with my grandpa when I was younger, and I have great memories of that because he really liked that show. And I really liked that show too. I just thought it was great. And I'm kind of excited for this. I think that this is interesting, and we'll see if it's going to be good or not. And if it is, great. If it's not, well, then I'll just crap all over it. So that is my second story of the week. So for my third and final story of the week, you guys. So it looks like James Mangold is circling the drain to direct Swamp Thing. Now, if you remember this week, and I did a video on it where DC came out and James Gunn came out and he did a presentation, and one of the things that he presented was a Swamp Thing movie. Now, I just have to say, I think that this personally, before I get into this article when I talk about James Mangold, I personally love Swamp Thing. I think it's a great character. If you go and read Alan Moore's run on the character, that's my personal favorite run on the character. I think it's a great idea, personally, in my humble opinion, to bring in Swamp Thing. But I understand that it's a niche character. But if you watch the TV series, I think that only lasted 13 episodes off the top of my head, but I love that series. I thought it was great when it came out. I thought it was so good, and I feel like it got canceled too soon. I really wanted to see where the story was going. I love the characters they brought in. Like the way they did Madame Xanadu in that show, where she was like this voodoo kind of priestess lady. I thought that was great. They brought in the Blue Devil. That was great. And the way he looked was great. And I just felt like them canceling it was a misstep. Now, moving on to this movie, I think that this will be interesting to see. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes over with fans. But why don't we go ahead and get into this article from Deadline, a favorite. So since James Mangold's circling Swamp Thing film Bob Dylan picks still focuses following Indiana Jones sequel. Now his Indiana Jones, for instance, he directed Logan and Ford v Ferrari, both really good films. I love both those movies. He did a great job. This Indiana Jones movie sounds like a big hot mess. I don't know. And wasn't he supposed to direct a Star Wars movie? Don't quote me on that. I just can't remember. But his Indiana Jones movie, granted he didn't write the script, but it still sounds like a big hot mess, you guys. It sounds like such a hot mess. And he's like attacking fans and stuff. And I'm like, dial it back. Calm it down, sister. All right, let's read this article and get into this. So it says, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Filmmaker James Mangold is circling to direct Swamp Thing, Deadline has learned. These are very early talks and nothing is set in stone. The project is so deep development. There's no script. We understand per sources, which I have to just say, James Mangold is a really good director. So hopefully he comes on to this project. So it says, we hear that Mangold is a big fan of Swamp Thing. Me too. And has been chasing the feature for a while. That said, DC is stoked about Mangold. The filmmaker has an offer. In unveiling their DC Universe slate, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, on Tuesday, the studio's co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran didn't make any director announcements, but the day after the news of the DC slate broke, Mangold tweeted out a photo from the Swamp Thing comic book, which Gunn then retweeted, which is very interesting. Oh, go away. Mangold's next project is Searchlight's Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown starring Timothy Chalamet as the young crooner. As Deadline first reported, his Indiana Jones comes on June 30th. Hence, the Swamp Thing movie would be very far out, which is very true. They won't start these movies until 2025, which is so far away. With Superman, I believe it's July 11th is when the Superman movie will come out. But hopefully there's enough time. I mean, I think that James Mangold has enough time to get everything, because I think Swamp Thing is the last thing that they announced. So maybe it's the last one in their slate of releasing. I don't know though, because they didn't have any dates. I think they had one more date for something else, but they didn't have any dates for any other movies. So we'll see. So it says, Mangold took the R-rated superhero movie to another level with Logan. I agree with that 100%. Logan is a very good movie. It's not the comic book, but that's fine. It was a very good movie, and I personally enjoyed it. It was the best one out of this Logan trilogy, or this Wolverine trilogy. The third Wolverine movie starring Hugh Jackman, Mangold executive produced, co-wrote, and directed Logan. See, so I think that, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I think that he can make a good movie. It just sounds like this Indiana Jones movie is going to be one of his flops in terms of writing. It might do well, money wise, although I'm not going to see it, which grossed more than $619 million in global box office before Disney took over 20th Century Fox and its portion of the X-Men Marvel Universe. Mangold is repped by a bunch of fun people. So that's the tweet that he put out. Super fun. And I think that this, like I said before, hold on, I just want to, there we go, we'll do that. I just want to say, I think, again, this is a really good idea. I think that Swamp Thing, first off, and I know Guillermo del Toro was supposed to do a Swamp Thing movie, and it fell through. But I think that it probably was because Guillermo del Toro has such a unique vision, and it was probably too much for them. They probably like, ooh, I don't know if I want to do that kind of thing. Which also was a misstep. I think Guillermo del Toro is a fantastic director. I love him, but I think this is a good choice. If James Mangold signs on to direct this movie, I think this is a good choice. I think that James Mangold is a good choice for Swamp Thing, and I think he could do a great job with this movie. And I've seen other people bring this up, and I'm going to bring it up too. Swamp Thing is a perfect place to introduce Poison Ivy, because you have the green. And she's connected to the green because she's also plant-based. And I think that this would be a good place to introduce her, if anywhere. So I think that that's a really good thought process. But, we'll see where this goes. This is still in the early stages, like they said. No, nothing's been set in stone yet. There's no script or anything. But let's see how this all works out and see if this is connected in any way, shape, or form. We'll see. I don't know. This could be just a big hot mess. But yeah, I think this is good. So that is my final story of the week, you guys. Tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? How do you feel about Jaafar Jackson set to play his uncle, Michael Jackson, in the biopic Michael, being directed by Antoine Fuqua? Do you know about the Jermaine Jackson and Michael Jackson feud, and how do you guys feel about that? And do you think this is a good choice for Michael Jackson casting? It's nepotism for sure. But do you think this is a good choice? Have you seen his videos and stuff? Do you think he'll be a good actor? What do you guys think about all of this? And then tell me, how do you feel about them rebooting this Matlock show from, back in the day? And it's starring Kathy Bates. Do you like Kathy Bates? Did you love the original Matlock as much as I did? I have so many good memories about Matlock. And then how do you feel about them, gender swapping it? And do you think it'll be quote unquote woke, or do you think that it'll be, respectful to the original series, but yet adding a new spin on it? And then finally, how do you guys feel about James Mangold directing the Swamp Thing movie? Are you like me and you think this is a good choice? Or do you think this is a misstep and James Mangold is just not the right fit for this project? How do you feel about Swamp Thing as a character? Do you like Swamp Thing? Did you watch that show? Did you ever read any of the comic books? Yeah. Tell me what you guys think about that, all of this. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind if you're new to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my week in review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my week in review.